Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny Saturday at the Jersey Shore. Can't wait to get out on the beach today. Scotty McKay. It's the locker room with Billy Schweim here on 97.3 ESPN. And Scooter, we cover since the inception of my show, we've been covering the lifeguard races, but of course, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, all the races have been canceled for the month of July, which only gives us an opportunity for either the Margate Memorials or the South Jersey Lifeguard Champions. So we decided, instead of covering the race, let's take a walk down memory lane and talk to some former champions. So we do the Legends of Lifeguard segment, Legends of Lifeguard Racing segment, brought to you by Surface Supplies. What's happening at Surface Supplies? All things surfing is what's happening. Starting out with hundreds of new and used surfboards right by the door since 1962. The full line of skimboards, skateboards, bodyboards, and all things necessary to complete a happy day of surfing. That's Surface Supplies, 3101 Asbury Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey, keeping you stoked since 1962. And by Blitz's Market in Ocean City, voted Best Deli 6 years in a row, introducing online ordering. Visit them online at blitzesmarkets.com and place your order today. 2 locations in Ocean City at 21st and 34th and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Hey, cut out the carbs with their famous pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal. Now let's go to let's go to the Barb's Harley Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room a lifeguard legend from the AC Beach Patrol, the Atlantic City Beach Patrol, John Kenny. What's up, John?
Not much. How you doing, Billy?
All right, John. So we looked up. We have all the former champions of the lifeguard racing series, the South Jerseys, and I noticed that you are a 5-time champion. It's a pretty amazing feat.
Yeah, thank you. And it's an honor to be a part of the list. I know there's a lot of great champions on that list, and the Beach Patrol's got such an amazing history. Looking back to over 100 years ago, and it's great to be part of that. I won the swim title 5 times. This would have been 98 to 2002, right?
Yeah, that's it. Exactly right. 98 to 2002. And we're going to be talking with a lot of great champions. But, you look at this swimming. I mean, the swimmers, there are not too many guys that win it as many times in a row as you. I mean, Tom Swift and then you. You got guys that won it 1 or 2 times, but not as many as you and Tom Swift. So you are an exclusive club.
Yeah, well, I was fortunate to be trained real well when I was coming through high school, and I got down to Atlantic City Beach Patrol when I started in '98, and I was just in amazing shape at the time. I had been on the national team in the open water 5 times as well, so just coming from that background, I had a leg up on everybody, and was really fortunate. The first few years, I think I won every race running away. And then, a few years later, I know Tom Swift was coming back, and there's a couple other guys that gave me some good races a little bit later on towards the tail end of that.
Yeah, hey, John, this is Scott McKay, an ex-Ocean City Beach Patroller. I got to see you swim over those years. I was on from 77 till, right at the end, the beginning of your career. But you talk about the ocean swimming, and I don't think a lot of our listeners really understand how big that really is and the talent that it takes to swim in the ocean. I mean, just because you're a pool guy doesn't mean you're going to be a great ocean swimmer. What do you think most in getting into ocean swimming and doing so well in these lifeguard championships?
Well, so I had always kind of had a affinity toward open water. Going down to just swimming in the ocean all the time when I was a kid, and I won the Masters swim a few times in Ocean City when I was probably 15, 16 years old, and then I was always really more into open water than I ever was into the pool. And I know a lot of pool swimmers struggle with that because they're used to lane lines and flip turns, and there's just a lot of different, it's almost a totally different sport. You get out into the ocean, all of a sudden you got waves, you got a surf dash, you got, just different things that are going on with the ocean that you got to be in tune with. Obviously, catching a wave to bring it home is one of the big parts, and so that was something I practiced probably 2 hours a day, and it's fun. It's not really it's not really like arduous practice like swimming laps in the pool, but learning how to catch a wave and learning how to ride it all the way to the beach was a big factor too.
Yeah, it starts and finishes sometimes with that, but I don't think, like I said again, I don't know how many of our listeners are really big into swimming or ocean swimming, stuff like that. But I listened to one of your podcasts that you had from a while back, and you're training to do these things for these long open water swims. I mean, you had said on one of your your podcasts that you were training 100,000 meters a week. Now, for people that can't envision that's and most people can envision a 25-meter pool, that's 4,000 laps for your training for the week, which is like, I don't swim anymore. I was going to say I don't even want to drive that far anymore, but what are you thinking about when you're doing 100,000 meters? What's going through your head? What's your mindset like? Because when your head's in the water, it's you got nothing but thoughts and time. So,
well, I like to get that Meow Mix song stuck in your head.
Right.
I mean, get something good stuck in your head, and I always found it was way better with competition. And I swam for Dick Schulberg at Germantown Academy.
Tremendous coach
with their club, and he was a multi-time Olympic coach and one of the best there was, and he always had a pool full of 30 or 40 All-American level, some, world record holders. And, just having that competition with you, I found that to be the biggest factor, is that you were constantly engaged. And if you were swimming mindlessly, if you were just kind of going through the motions of swimming one lap after the other, you weren't getting it done. But having structure and having competition with you, I found that to be the biggest thing. The biggest thing that helped me, get where I went. Yeah.
We're talking with John Kenny, formerly Atlantic City Beach Patrol, 5-time champion, South Jersey lifeguard champion for the swim. And John, people don't realize too, when we cover these races, we get to see there's a physical aspect to it. I know. Back in the day, going through the surf, or even when you're out and everybody's bunched together, you guys are jockeying for a position.
Yeah, there's definitely some contact. I would say, and I had done international races at world championships and some World Cup type open water races, including around the island swim in Atlantic City too. And you wouldn't have that level of contact, even in a pack full of 20 guys. You'd have more contact in the lifeguard events because they're shorter, and because, frankly, the guys took it more seriously. I mean, the guys, when it was time to do that, there were guys that were very physical, and so it was always business there. There was always plenty of contact, and you had to be able to anticipate it and, obviously not freak out when it happened. I was never the aggressor, I don't think, but there was always contact, that's for sure.
Oh, when you get out in front, you don't have to worry about being the aggressor, right? So
yeah,
that's what Joey Tepper's doing now.
Never worry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's a good point Scotty McKay just brought up, John, that Longport's new swimmer, Joey Tepper. I mean, this kid's a phenom, man. John, this guy's out through the surf, and he's back, and there's like maybe, a minute passed by before the next swimmer gets out of the water.
Yeah, they're not able to grab your feet when you're that far in front of them.
That's right.
So, hey, John, what percentage of nutrition plays a part in this for you? I mean, obviously, you're swimming, you're burning calories like crazy. What are you feeding yourself? What are you doing to prepare for these big open water swims?
Well, so from a nutrition standpoint, I would say as you get older, that becomes more and more important. I've been racing as a professional triathlete for the past, 16 years now. I've been doing that. And I found as I've gotten older, it's become more important, not just fueling yourself, but fueling yourself with the right stuff, and not just, not eating Taco Bell every day. But
Not like Billy.
Yeah. being properly fueled is a huge factor, and it becomes way more important when you're talking about something like around the island swim where you're doing 22 miles. That becomes really, really crucial as opposed to a half mile ocean swim. It's important to not be dehydrated and all that stuff, especially if it's if it's a hot day. But that becomes a way bigger factor for the long distance.
Right.
Hey, John, in your 5 years of winning 5 championships in a row, what's your fondest memory of your best race, or the one that was the most gratifying to you?
Well, I had a lot of races. I had a lot of races that I won by quite a bit. The first year I won the jerseys by probably over a minute, and I had a broken foot actually, and everybody knew that. They put the starting line way up in the soft sand because they knew I had to hobble back in and that. But I would actually say my last one was probably more memorable, and that was mainly because there was a lot more competition there. I know there was Ross Thomas and Paul Mangin, from Ocean City was really tough that year, and it was a pancake flat ocean, which is not my specialty, and
right.
They made it a real short swim, and I had to work a whole lot harder, and wound up winning that race by a real close margin. It was almost like a dive to the finish. So I would say that would be the one that sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, we've seen some great close races, close finishes. Talk to us a little bit about how much Sid Cassidy helped you out. I think Sid recruited you, right, for the Atlantic City Beach Patrol?
Yeah, well, so Schulberg, as to my pool swimming, that's the way Sid was for me for open water. I had a really good background in, just distance swimming, but Sid taught me a whole lot about, he actually recruited me to swim at University of Miami, which I didn't wind up going there, and he actually wasn't the coach there the following year, but he did get me down on the beach patrol, so I'm very grateful for that. And we did quite a bit. He just worked me through all the little nuances. There's so many little tiny things that you can gain advantage of when you're talking about drafting and sighting and positioning, and where, especially when you're talking about a side current, where do you go in the water? How do you read that? How far do you run up the beach? And he was able to, and as far as open water is concerned, he's the guy. I mean, he's the guy that was the biggest factor in getting open water as an Olympic sport. And, he's another legend. I hope you have him on the show later.
We will.
We will get that Sid.
Well, we're still mad at him for not recruiting you to come to Ocean City, but
there you go.
But, it's funny. I remember Sid, we worked together, and he, I remember a couple of his first races. Sid was never the prototypical swimmer look. He was always a thick kind of guy, and I'm thinking, is this guy going to be any good? Well, he ends up, his first race he comes in, he had a beer cracked open on the beach before the second guy finished, and it was just, that's Sid, that's Sid in a nutshell, which is great. So, great coach, for him to do that stuff. And did you ever do the around the island swim?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did that 7 times actually. I
Seven times, Jesus.
I was second place twice there.
Sid got a second too, I believe.
Sid got a second.
Yeah.
Hey, John, tell our listeners a little bit about that. I mean, that's international competition, right? People from all over.
Yeah, that was for many years. It was a World Cup race. That's got a long history as well, going back to the 50s or early 60s, I believe, the first time it was done. And then, of course, Jim Whalen did the solo swim, I think in the late 70s, to kind of bring that back. That was an international. It was one of the biggest races in the Cup, and they ran that every year for a long time. The guys would come from all over the place. Some of the world champions. The race that I'm most proud of actually was that race, the one year in 2005, I believe it was, when I got second place. The guy that won was Peter Stoichev, who won the World Cup, and he won the overall World Cup. And the guy that was third was the current world champion. So I was pretty excited about a second place result there. Again, you talk about reading the water. There's so many spots there in the back bays where, the current's moving and hugging the marsh or hugging the docks or riding the channel and knowing where to be at the right time. I found that home field advantage really worked out for me well there.
Well, John, listen, man, we got to run, but I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come on for our Legends of Lifeguard Racing segment. We really appreciate it, and thanks for the memories.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Billy.
All right, there it is.
John.
There's John Kenny, Scooter, formerly of the Atlantic City Beach Patrol, 5-time South Jersey Lifeguard Swim Champion, and a great lifeguard. The Legends of Lifeguard Racing is brought to you by Surfer Supplies. And what's happening at Surfer Supplies? All things surfing. That's what's happening, starting out with hundreds of new and used surfboards right by the door since 1962 with a full line of skimboards, skateboards, bodyboards, and all the necessary gear to complete a happy day of surfing. At Surfer Supplies, 3101 Asbury Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey, keeping you stoked since 1962. And by Blitz's Market in Ocean City, voted Best Deli 6 years in a row, introducing online ordering. Visit them at blitzesmarkets.com and place your order today. 2 locations in Ocean City at 21st and 34th Streets on Asbury Avenue in Ocean City. Cut out the carbs with their famous dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal. Want to remind people the second hour of the locker room was brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Join Great Bay today. For more information, go to greatbay.com or call them at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. And just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey to attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to Ken at jerseymanmagazine.com or call him at 856-912-4007 for more information. All right, Scooter, when we return, we'll wrap it up. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app.